Hi, Paul. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you.
Good morning. We'll get started in a couple of minutes. People are popping on.
Okay.
Hey, Christine.
Hello.
Hi.
Claudia.
Hi, Christine.
Pulse is here.
Dan, that background is fantastic.
How about that?
So
Restaurant.
timely. Promoting every which way.
Yeah, we're getting excited.
So everyone, we were saying, does everyone have their coffee? For the Coffee With series?
Oh, it's just 9.
Heather, let's give people like one more minute and then I think we can start going. People can join in. Since we're all busy.
And just so everyone knows, we are recording it just in case any businesses aren't able to make it and would like to see it. We're going to send a link out later.
All right. It's a 9:02. All right, we can start. So hi everyone, I'm Jill Sunderson. Thanks for joining our Coffee With series. Today we have panelists from the Village, the Chamber, and myself, who is part of the Economic Development Commission. Our purpose today is to create conversation between the Village and the Chamber and local businesses and residents. We pitch this as an open forum. The format will be, we'll do a quick introduction of the panelists, and then I'll give a brief overview of what the EDC is and what we're working on right now and what we've been working on the last year. And then the Chamber will also give a brief introduction to them as well. And then we'll open it up to, we have a couple pre-submitted questions, and then we'll open up to everyone just to have some conversation about what's going on in town. Any questions you have, hopefully we can answer them. And if we can't, we'll figure out a way or best how to. So anyway, let's start with panel introductions. I'll start with myself. So I'm Jill Sunderson. I've been part of the Economic Development Commission for 3 years. Oh, this is my 4th year. So I've been 3 years and then chaired it this past year, just as COVID was hitting, which is great. I am a resident in Hinsdale. I've lived here for the last 8 years. And I take a seat on the EDC as a resident, in the EDC. So Heather, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Heather Bereckis. I'm the superintendent of Parks and Recreation with the Village. I've been with the Village for going on 9 years now, always in Parks and Rec, but starting last year when COVID hit, I took over as a liaison for the EDC commission. We had a staff member who went on maternity leave and didn't come back. So I took over the liaison position with Sammy, who we do have on the meeting. The two of us kind of together have helped run EDC. So they kind of naturally seem to fit for us. Parks and Rec has already had a pretty good rapport with the business community. Many of you have sponsored our events. We have a good connection with the Chamber and some other businesses in town, other entities in town. So it kind of was a natural progression for us to take over. We also do heavy marketing for all of our programming. So yeah, we're excited. We actually really enjoy this. It's been great working with everyone in the capacity that we have over the past year. So
Great. Eva and Claudia?
Yes, I'm Eva Field. I'm the president of the Hinsdale Chamber. I've been with the Chamber for 17 years, but in my president role for the last 4 years. Yeah, it's been such a wonderful 17 years, and thank you for inviting us to this coffee.
Hi, I'm Claudia Thornton. I've been at the Chamber going on 4 years now as the Director of Marketing and Special Events. And it's been a ride. I mean, this year we're excited. We've got a lot more virtual events we've done. And looking forward to our community events coming back this summer.
Yeah. All right, Bethany, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi all, my name is Bethany. I am the village planner here with Hinsdale. I've worked here for a full 1.5 weeks, but I'm very excited to be here. So I made it almost 2 weeks. Previously, I worked as the planning division manager with the village of Orland Park. And then before that, I was a planner in the village of Oswego. So I'm very excited to be here and I'm excited to get to know all you guys. So let me know if you need anything.
Great. And then Dan?
Hi, good morning. My name is Dan Grisko. I'm the owner of Direct Advantage. We're an integrated marketing agency located in Chicago. And we've been working with the EDC since its inception almost 10 years ago. So we handle a lot of the branding and promotional efforts in town, including Restaurant Week, which I'll be talking about very shortly. We're excited. That's our next promotion coming up in May.
Excellent. All right, Heather, do you want to screen share? We'll move on to, I'll give a quick brief overview of what the EDC actually is, because a lot of people wonder. So the Economic Development Commission is composed of 7 people. It's a mix of residents and businesses. So as I said earlier, I sit on the commission as a resident. The EDC updated its mission about a year ago. And we worked through with the village to really focus on encouraging or recommending plans that encourage the establishment, growth, and longevity of a variety of businesses in town, ultimately to strengthen the vitality and charm to the benefit of its residents and businesses. And this is kind of important because in the past, the EDC was focused on looking at the benefit to the village, and the village came back to us and said, we want to rework this mission so that it's valuable to both the residents and the businesses. And so that's how we've created this mission. And then we have 4 objectives, and all of the things that we do on the EDC, we try and tie to one of these objectives. So one is creating awareness of our businesses in Hinsdale. So how do we do a better job, or how do we, create awareness and increase awareness of all these businesses? Number 2 is how do we drive people into retail shops, or drive people into restaurants, or drive people into service-oriented stores. And so a lot of our focus this last year has been on how do we drive people, virtually into shops, whether it's curbside pickups or, online promotions that they can click through that way. The third objective is engaging local businesses. So this is one example of how do we get, today's example, these Coffee With series, how do we get the village and the chamber and our businesses to communicate more? Because, knowledge is power, and trying to get feedback from people is always helpful. And then finally, measuring. So how do we measure success? We've always been looking at occupancy rates and vacancy rates. We still look at sales tax revenue just as how it trends. But then also we've been doing quarterly surveys with the businesses, which hopefully many of you have been able to fill out to try and figure out, to get a pulse on how businesses are feeling and doing, and how it can help and make more of an impact. If you want to go to the next slide. So many of you, or hopefully everybody has seen the Shop Local campaign that the village has been putting out over the last year. When COVID hit, which was right when we were updating our mission to make it about residents and businesses, and how do we benefit both of them, we decided as the EDC, in working with the village and the chamber, to have a very strong messaging around Shop Local and putting your money where your heart is. It's a very direct message, but it is still a very old school campaign of storefront distribution, street banners, signs, print mailers, social media. Hopefully you've seen this all around town. It's about, it's really about the shop, dine, relax, and then we put in the play local as well, to tie in the Parks and Rec activities as well. Over the last, over the last 6 months, we've updated the Shop Local, or we've evolved, the Shop Local into seasonal campaigns. and it still has that scribble heart. So hopefully people can recognize this around town. For holiday, we did much more direct focus on shopping. So shop Hinsdale for the holidays, shop, dine, relax local still is the tagline with it. And as you can see, it was, doing a lot of the maps, listing the store names. We also did like a $25 Secret Santa giveaways where we go downtown and, give $25 to shoppers. And then we were able to post those pictures to Instagram. It's the Parks and Rec Instagram with the village. And then the chamber was great in cross promoting this as well, but trying to really focus on getting people, to shop local for the holidays. We did a little bit of a turn in January, and you can still see these around town. The New Year, New Me, refresh, reinvest, repeat. And this had much more of a health and wellness messaging. So turning from shopping to more of the service-oriented stores, maybe it's salons or maybe it's gyms, but really having that health and wellness messaging. And then we did someone, I would call it like a mini campaign for Valentine's Day. And hopefully you've seen this around town, which is the Hinsdale Loves You for Loving Local. And this, this was coming up on a year, like 1 year from when COVID was hitting. And so we thought it was nice to have something that was more of like a thank you message, from the stores and from the village to, the residents and the consumers. And then you guys are the first ones to see the summertime, the spring and summer, I should say, Shop Local, the brand new campaign. And we're very fortunate that Sammy Hansel in the village has done all this creative and has been super creative for us. But this Shop Local, the new spring and summer will be more like last year's spring and summer, the original campaign, which will be, street banners and much more extensive than the New Year, New Me and Hinsdale Loves You. So we'll be coming in hot for the spring and summer. Heather, do you have anything else to add with those two? Or do you want to kind of do a brief overview of the calendar?
Sure.
Anything that I've missed?
So we try to keep an updated 12-month rolling calendar, and we'll go through the slides here, but this is where it started last year. The first thing that we actually did was create the Hinsdale to go page, which we realized that many businesses don't know it's there. Originally it was for anyone because most stores that were staying open had the ability to do curbside and delivery pickups, whether you were a clothing store or you were a restaurant, etc. So we try to change it to fit any of the upcoming holidays or any of the current promotions that we have going on or campaigns that are going on. You see, we ended up doing 2 restaurant weeks last week. And Dan, I think we did the first in March, which it was right about when COVID was hitting. And it was hard for people because of that. So we introduced a virtual restaurant week that came in May. And Dan will talk about this again a little bit later, but we are doing this year's restaurant week also in May. So just an idea of here, what we started with last year, and kind of move forward to the end of 2020. Outdoor dining was extended. It was introduced and extended. We tried to do things with Parks and Rec and the Chamber that kind of tied into what was happening with the EDC. So Fall Fest, we always try to get businesses sponsoring. We try to send people into the downtown for like the Hinsdale Turkey Trail. Businesses can sponsor that. They were able to put a turkey out in front of their business. So people when they were searching for these, they could kind of see the businesses and hopefully are then interested in shopping. So everything else here we've touched on. We're going to be introducing some spring spotlights that'll come up with this spring summer campaign. So similar to the spotlights that we did for Shop Hinsdale for the holidays, everyone was able to submit their information to us and we do a spotlight on the webpage and on social media. And the Hinsdalean was kind enough to donate a ad page for anyone who was also in those spotlights. So we're hoping to see that again happening. And the Chamber did a fall sidewalk sale this year too to help people turn over that inventory from spring and summer. Eva and Claudia, are you anticipating doing another fall sidewalk sale this year?
Yes, we are. Probably the same time last year. Yeah, right around the same time.
Yeah, I think it was October 23rd or something. It's like the week after the Fall Fest.
Okay. So you can see here's what we have coming up for the next 6 months. So April, starting here, just a reminder, we do have the to-go page. We're really going to try to revamp it, clean it up a little bit, and make sure that it's, at this point, I think we'll probably be more heavily focused on restaurants now that we're opening up a little bit more, but we will also have available things for businesses that aren't food or beverage based. Again, you see the spring spotlights coming out. We'll have another virtual workshop in about 3 months. We'll have some kind of seminar or workshop coming up. Outdoor dining is extended through 6/21 right now. It is anticipated that the village will renew outdoor dining through the end of this year again. And I know there's just going to be discussion on how to possibly make it a little more permanent. So again, none of that's official, but there's discussion on how it can impact the community if we were to do something like that. Again, things starting, the chamber we'll talk about too, but we'll have all of their events for the summer starting, the summer sidewalk sale, our events coming up for Parks and Rec. Hopefully we'll be able to do 4th of July. If not, right now we have like the Great Hinsdale Exploration going on, which a number of local businesses have sponsored. They have small eggs. It'll be in front of their businesses. Again, it's to drive people into your businesses. So we tried to make it affordable. It's $20. It's basically just paying for your egg. And then we created clues to drive them to the businesses. So once they walk into your business, the business would then stamp their egg passport and they would move on to the next location. So you can just see this is the end of next year and into early 2022. A lot of this are kind of placeholders. Like we may see the shop local campaign change slightly, or we may see like a new design for Hinsdale for the holidays, etc. But just placeholders and where we anticipate things going. So I think that's it, Jill, unless you have something else.
No, that's great. All right, and then Dan is going to give us a little bit more of a deep dive overview of Restaurant Week coming up.
Sure. So Restaurant Week is coming up on May 14th. It's going to be May 14th through the 23rd this year. The previous 2 years, we conducted the event in March. And then obviously when COVID hit last year, it kind of changed plans. It was literally probably the last week that there was any sort of crowds and dining last year. So this year, in conjunction with consulting the restaurants, we decided to move it to May. It'll be after Mother's Day. Mother's Day is still a big time for them. And the village did a really amazing job supporting the restaurant community by putting the tents up. I know most of the owners and managers in town, and it was a literal lifeline to get them through a real difficult time. So this year with moving the dates to May 14th through the 23rd, we're trying to stack the deck in their favor, primarily to take advantage of the outdoor dining options. So the restaurants are going to be doing indoor dining, outdoor dining, and then of course, carry out became such an integral part of their business survival that most of them are going to be doing carry out specials as well. We'll be shooting a promotional video in early April. And what we're really asking the business community that's not related to the restaurant is to please support the restaurants, certainly year round, but during that week specifically. If you are in the office, if you're at your workplace, try to take a few people out for lunch, go there for dinner, order carry out and bring it back if you don't live in Hinsdale. Having the business community rally around this effort is very, very crucial. The residents have done a great job, certainly supporting the restaurants. And then every year during Restaurant Week, all the restaurants comment that they see a way more new faces than ever before. So it's a real important week for them to grow their business, not just during that week, but for people to come from outside, from the city, from surrounding suburban communities to see that we really do have a vibrant restaurant community. We really do have a vibrant town. And in addition to obviously drawing them in for Restaurant Week, it helps them to then hopefully stay or come back and spend money in the retail community as well. And gets them seeing our community from a housing standpoint. So there's a growth effort really that springs from something as simple as Restaurant Week. So again, we're just asking for everyone's support. I don't know, originally I saw Egg Harbor and Burhops were going to be on this call. I don't know if they're on the call or not, but I did stop in at all the restaurants last week just to rally the troops to make sure everybody's getting ready to sign up. So again, please support the restaurants year round, but especially May 14th through the 23rd. Thanks.
Great. And then Heather, do you have any more updates with the Park and Rec? Or,
Just like I mentioned before, so you were able to sponsor the egg hunt exploration that's going on right now, but we do have other events coming up throughout the summer that can be sponsored. So Fall Fest is one of them, movies in the park through the summer and fall. We also allow sponsorship tables to be set up during our lunch on the lawn events. And likely we would probably even allow something at the pool again this year since we're having more space there again. So things will come up we do a lot of pop-up events as well. So if something comes up, we like to share that with the community. If you're interested in sponsoring, but just don't know what there is available, you can reach out to Sammy or I, and we can provide details.
all right. And if people want to get the newsletter, the EDC newsletter on a weekly basis, how do they get that?
So it is available. There's a link you can click on the website, or again, just reach out. If you reach out to Sammy or I via email, we can get you added in to that.
Great. All right. And then for the Chamber of Commerce, Eva and Claudia, do you want to give us a quick overview of your mission and goals and what you're up to?
Sure, absolutely. And again, thank you for inviting us. We appreciate this. The chamber has about close to 260 members from all over Hinsdale and beyond, and all different types of businesses. Our mission is connecting business through community leadership, opportunity, and involvement. And of course, that touches on just about everything. And of course, our community events is what makes the chamber go around. And so we've got our summer events coming. I'll let Claudia jump in here in a little bit, but we've got our summer events. Since now we've moving through the pandemic, we're able to host the farmers market once again, and then the fine arts. And then of course we've been doing a lot of virtual events for the community as well as the members themselves. So I'll pass it over to Claudia. She can update on what we're doing now.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously with the pandemic, we had to be creative and come up with events that were fun and, not in person. So, over Christmas, we had a wine tasting with our chamber members. That was a lot of fun. We had a cooking class with Paul Verant, and we have our second baking class with Sweet Allie's in 1 week. That's going to be, virtual, but if you're interested in, participating as an attendee, just go on to hinsdalechamber.com and sign up for the event. It's going to be next Wednesday at 6:30. And then we've also been doing an Instagram series of webinars. We're doing our second Instagram on next Thursday at 11:30. If you're interested, you can go into the Hinsdale Chamber website and sign up. And then we have the third series coming up in April 7th, and then a quarterly meeting. We're excited that's going to be in person at the community house. And then as Eva had said, we're kicking off the farmers market on Memorial Day, May 31st, and it'll carry on each Monday from 7 to 1 until October 25th. So we're excited about that. And then the Fine Arts Show is going to be the first weekend in June 5th and 6th. We've already got over 100 artists that have applied. And so we're real excited. It's going to be another great event. Obviously, Uniquely Thursday, we've got that ready to go. Hopefully, it will. But we'll just have to see how things go. But once we get the okay, we've got our fans lined up, our sponsors ready to go, and there'll be lots of sponsorship opportunities for businesses for Uniquely Thursday. We've got Wine Walk, again, it's on hold, but maybe by October 14th, they'll be ready to go. And then, lots of great things planned for, the second half of the year as well. hoping that, us moving in this positive direction, it'll happen.
Fantastic.
I hope you guys can hear us and understand us with these masks. Oh,
We can.
Okay.
I think we can. Raise your hand if you can't, but.
Great.
All right. Okay. A little bit louder then. All right. So now we've come to like the portion where we can address the pre-submitted questions. We had one pre-submitted question. I don't know if perhaps is on here, but I think it could apply to everybody who's interested. Is how you'd like to know, perhaps would like to know how to participate in the farmers market. So even Claudia, if anybody else, or if there are other businesses that'd be interested in participating, could you give us the answer or direct us to how to answer it?
sure, absolutely. Claire, go
Yeah,
ahead.
so, we have our farmers market application on our website. So again, I would let Burhop know to go ahead and, take a look at our application. He can fill it out and apply. Right now, there's, obviously restrictions to cooking on site. I know that was part of his question. So that would not be allowed currently.
But we're gonna reach out to them directly, and that way, start that, conversation for them, for their opportunities as well.
Eva, I'm sorry, we can't hear you.
You can't hear me? We're not.
Yeah, go ahead, Eva. We could hear Claudia, but not you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, so let me bring it a little closer.
Thank
No,
you.
you're gonna reach out directly to Burhop, I believe, it is Nancy, to, get the conversation going about our farmers market and other opportunities that they can jump into. So we'll go ahead and take care of that on our end.
And just to add on the farmers market, it doesn't always have to be a food vendor. And we do offer opportunities to businesses that want to be on site for a day, once a month, where they just market their business. So again, that opportunity is on our website. It's the business application under the farmers market. So, again, we welcome all businesses to be on site.
And just like Paul from People's Resource, we work closely with Jenny Fabian there, and there's always opportunity, as well as Lulu for the Forest Reserve, to get exposure and be visible to the community at most of our events. So keep that in mind.
Fantastic. Thank you. So hopefully we've come to the portion where hopefully everyone has learned a little bit about what the EDC is and what we've been working on and what the village is, how the village and the EDC work, and then how we also work with the chamber and what the chamber is also working on. And we do, as the village, EDC and chamber, really strive to work together on all of our events and communication so that it seems like one cohesive planning when, to the businesses and to the residents within the village. So, but we've come to the portion that it's an open forum at this point. If you have a question that you would like to ask, please ask us. Otherwise, I have some questions too that I could ask. So I have one question that I'm hoping, if you're thinking of other questions, but I'm always interested in growing our social media, and Heather knows this and Dan knows this. And I'm interested in seeing what are people's thoughts on working with the village on having, does Instagram matter to your business? Does Facebook matter to your business? Does having the village being able to highlight something on social media on behalf of your business, does that help? Does that hurt? Is that interesting or not interesting to anybody?
Hi there, it's Lynn Burgess from Hinsdale Hospital. And I would say social media is becoming more and more part of the conversation, especially with the CEO and on the local level. We're part of a bigger system, but we are trying to figure out ways to get down to that granular local level and create those stories to create connection in our community. So I would say most definitely from the healthcare and hospital side of things, absolutely yes. And I would say Facebook and Instagram would be the most, and LinkedIn, from the business to business side of messaging. So when I was just writing down some ideas of how I could get the hospital workers to Restaurant Week and creating some type of story that way. So absolutely. So if you have any hashtags that you want us to start, incorporating, we're happy to do so.
Oh, we have some hashtags.
There's a boatload, I know.
Hinsdale loves local. Yes, exactly. Anybody else? Christine, were you coming? You're going off mute, I saw.
I just agree. Social media is so big right now. You get more business through social media than websites and more traditional ways or old-fashioned ways of advertising. And I think it's a great way for each of us to share each other's work and businesses.
And are you seeing more activity on Facebook or on Instagram? Is there one that you prefer?
For me, it's Instagram.
Okay.
I'm an interior designer, so my work is so visual. It's about pictures. So Instagram works for me.
Excellent. Is there any, maybe I'm afraid to ask this question, what are the biggest hurdles that your businesses have today and working with the village or working with the chamber that you think that we could work on? Is there anything that frustrates you? Nothing. Good. Heather, report that one back to the village.
Right. Great job, team.
Exactly. We would love to continue doing these Coffee With series. We've been doing them over the last year. Are there any topics that interest you in learning? This one was really an open forum of just being able to get feedback. Again, like I said, create conversation between businesses and the village and the chamber, because at the end of the day, we're all, have some of the same, the purpose. And so are there any other event or any other topics that you'd like to discuss in the future? Any speakers that you think we should, secure to come talk that might have some demand? I know social media has been a hot topic in the past, but thinking of like different promotions or different, how do you do promotions in businesses or? All right. Well, let me know if you have any.
This is a little self-serving. So my name is Paul. I'm the new director of job assistance with the People's Resource Center, and I'd be interested to see, as sort of the country opens back up, if any of the businesses are, in need of hiring workers. So basically, I have clients that are looking for work and try to develop a network of businesses and partnerships that I can send them if there's open positions available. So I'd love to understand the landscape of, if there's jobs or industries that have jobs that are going unfilled. It would be nice to kind of understand that lay of the land. And I'm hosting a job fair in June. I'm going to try to do it in person at our Westmont location. So, we would love to have a representative from the chamber there or representatives from the community that have open positions. So just trying to gain some networks and resources and understand the landscape. So I think jobs is going to be a hot topic. That's
a great.
Paul, are you looking just for full-time jobs? Are you interested in people that have seasonal or part-time positions?
Anything and everything. I mean, I have, I have one client that has his PhD, and then I have some that are, looking just for part-time work, seasonal work. I have a guy right now who's just looking for a job that's under 20 hours a week. So we have clients from all over coming to us right now, and we've seen a huge increase in the number of people coming to us. So
Definitely, Paul. At the chamber on the website, we have job postings that any of our members post to throw out there. And once any of our events or job postings, news releases are approved on our end, it goes out to social media as well.
Okay.
And also check with Choose DuPage. They have a lot of resources and numbers and opportunities for DuPage County area for jobs and stuff, among everything else. So
Okay.
that's another great resource.
Great. Thank you so much. And if anybody wants to reach out, I'll go ahead and put my email in the chat.
Great. Thanks, Paul. Does anyone have any other questions? Oh, thanks, Paul. I just saw it. Perfect. You know, we are, and I will say, we didn't discuss a little bit about what we've been brainstorming, but we've, you know, and Heather is and Eva, tell me if I should shut my mouth. But
No, I was actually going to suggest we mention that it's coming up. So you're good.
you go for it. Go for it. You got it.
No, we've talked a lot about Restaurant Week, and we've talked a lot about just kind of retail shopping, but we haven't maybe touched on some of the health and wellness or self-care businesses that we have in town. And we haven't forgotten. We are currently planning, hopefully we're aiming for September, but we haven't gotten feedback from the community yet. So, but we are looking to do a health and wellness week, similar to like Restaurant Week, but focusing on those more self-care type businesses. So it is something that's coming up. And we are trying to make sure that we're making connections with all the different businesses we have in town. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, but yes.
Yeah, no, I think and we're shooting for the September timeframe, you know, early fall after kids get back in school, and people want to start exercising, you know, working off that summer weight. But it'll also be for hair and salons and spa treatments as well. If there's any ideas that anybody wants to add either right now, or please email us, because the whole purpose, again, I said, is to create this conversation on how we can drive more people downtown Hinsdale, or, you know, to various stores, storefronts, restaurants, whatever it may be. Please let us know. Sammy and Heather and I and Eva, we're always brainstorming of what are the different types of promotions or different types of events or different types of messaging that we can get to lure people into our stores and restaurants and shops. So, you know, we've discussed like $5 Fridays. We've discussed art, you know, can we do something with art downtown and having, you know, art displays downtown, you know, stuff like that, you know, are maybe pie in the sky ideas right now, but eventually come to fruition. And we're always open to any and all ideas, you know, on going back to what I had originally said of our framework is to, you know, create awareness of our Hinsdale stores and shops, and then drive, you know, people into them. And it doesn't have to be actual storefronts. It could be online. It could be curbside. It could be, you know, as I said, in store. So.
My 2 cents on that is I believe that, you know, with the, you know, through the grapevine, some of the restrictions and moving into phase from 4 to 5, you know, it's going to give people a whole new outlook. And I think, and from the positive view of it, that Hinsdale is going to be busier than ever. So.
I love it. Yeah. And I do think at the end of the day, I think people have found, at least as a resident, speaking as a resident, I've always loved all of our local stores, but especially after this year, you know, there's been, you know, even a stronger loyalty developed, you know, after living through all of this together. So we're excited for phase 5. Are there any other questions? I don't want to keep everyone if there's not any other questions. This was just intended to be an open forum. But again, like I said, you know, thanks for listening. Thanks for learning about the EDC and learning about the chamber and who we all are. And we're always here to answer any questions.
Thank you.
All right, then I guess we'll sign off.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Please reach
Have a
out
good
to
day,
me.
everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.